Is there a doctor in the house? Do we have a doctor in the house?
Doctor Who?
Who's the doctor?
Doctor Who?
Oh, okay. I think the doctor today is the great Vicky Dykes. Please tell them about yourself and what else you do other than being Doctor Who.
Uh, Hello, Vicky Dykes. I'm from Central Alberta. I am an actress and I'm a fine artist and I'm a yoga enthusiast and I'm in the middle of actually developing and recording a show, which is very exciting to share exercise with people to help them be the best that they can be and have a good quality of life. Um, Today, I am the doctor. I'm very exciting. I love Doctor Who. So, yes, it's a good day.
Wonderful. And playing the beautiful Clara is beautiful Heather Lee Cameron.
Oh, Jacob, I owe you a dinner. I really do. Hi, my name is Heather Lee Cameron. I'm an actor, I'm a voice actor, I'm a writer, I'm a freelance journalist, and I'm an independent filmmaker. You can find my work on YouTube under the Storm of Latter-day Saint or on Facebook under Heather Lee Freelancer. Actually, Vicky, since you like Doctor Who, you should really take a look at this project that I just participated in. It's called The Witness Part 1, The Boneless Doctor, which is a Doctor Who fan audio show created by Fourth Wall Productions. I've talked about it on my Instagram. I play the role of Sarah in that, and that just came out today. And another project that just came out today that I'm part of is called the Lord of War and Heartache, the Vampire Saga, the Blood Harvest Ball. And in that, I play Duchess Catherine. And that's also advertised on my Instagram, which is Heather Lee Cameron. And
Wow,
I've also made a cooking video today, and I haven't uploaded that yet, but it's going to be a nice, not a Halloween theme, just a nice little cooking video.
wow, you both are keeping very busy. That's very impressive. Good job, you guys. That's awesome. I don't have as much to say that dropped, but I'm Jacob Patrick. I'll be reading the headings and actions of this
And he's an
screenplay.
Imagineer, and he's amazing.
Okay, I have something to announce. The ride I was working on is coming up December 20th in
And
Shanghai.
what's it called?
Um, Hot Pursuit. It's based on the Zootopia franchise.
Oh, nice.
So yes,
Very nice indeed.
it is. It's gorgeous. And tonight the screenplay that we're reading is. I'll share the screen and show you. Right here. Season 9, episode 11, Heaven Sent. And this one, others I have heard may feel that this one can seem a little repetitive, and you'll see why. But when I watched it, this is possibly one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes because it just emotionally it was so powerful. And maybe that's more also if you watched a few of the episodes leading up to it. But we're going to read it, and afterwards we can talk about it, and you can leave in the comments of what you thought about it. Did you think it was too repetitive? Do you think it's powerful? And we love to hear from you. But before that, we'll get started and we'll read it and we'll talk about it. So I'll start reading and we'll get going. There we go. Doctor Who, Series 9, Episode 11, Heaven Sent by Steven Moffat. Blue Amendments. 2000. August 24th, 2015. Shooting Block 6. BBC, Wales, 2015. All right. Doctor Who 9, Episode 11 by Steven Moffat, Blue Draft. Interior, the castle, day, spires and towers, an ancient sprawling castle. Now a familiar voice.
As you come into this world, something else is also born.
Pulling back. We are looking at the sunrise through a row of windows in an ancient stone wall.
You begin your life, and it begins a journey towards you.
Time-lapse photography. As the sun moves in the sky, the sunbeams sweep around the room like searchlights.
It moves slowly, but it never stops.
Now, cutting round various different locations in the sprawling castle world, colonnades and chambers and fountains and libraries, all in dusty ancient stone. Moving closer over details in every room, mounted somewhere on the walls is a cog unit, a mechanical fixture that looks like it could move the whole wall.
Wherever you go, whatever path you take, it will follow you, never faster, never slower, always coming.
Now, tracking along the floor, sprinkles of blood, streaks of it, like someone terribly injured had been hauling themselves along.
You will run, it will walk. You will rest, it will not.
Now, traveling along those corridors, picking out details. Every now and then, incongruously, there is a television monitor wired to the wall, each of these currently snowed with interference.
One day you will linger in the same place too long. You will sit too still or sleep too deep. And when, too late, you rise to go, you will notice a second shadow next to yours. Your life will then be over.
Now on a section of wall, on closer inspection, a door. A crushing, grinding sound, and the wall section slides away, revealing, cut to, interior teleport chamber Castle Day. A circular chamber of ancient but active technology, brass and glass, intricate mechanisms, spinning and ticking and glittering elsewhere, again dotted around the walls and equipment, cogs this time in gleaming brass. Closer on, the ceiling spirals down in towards the center of the room, like a funnel. Beneath the base of the funnel, a circular glass cabinet, just big enough for a man to stand in. It looks like what it is, a teleporter. On the teleporter controls, the hunched shadow falls over it. A trembling, bloodied hand reaches for a lever. The room shakes, shudders. On the wall, the brass cogs start glowing. The bloodied hand slams the lever, and the hunched figure falls crashing to the floor. In the glass cabinet, a glow is starting up, exactly like the glow we saw at the doctor as the doctor dematerialized at the end of the trap street. On the walls, the cogs turning, the floor, the bloodied hand, shaking with effort, is writing letters in the dust. B. Now cutting round various walls of the castle, the cogs turning and turning faster and faster, back to the bloodied hand, writing the dust. B-I-R. The glow in the cabinet, stronger and stronger, starting to take a familiar shape, the cogs faster and faster. On the bloodied hand, still writing, we see curves and lines, but not a finished word. The hand starts to glow, spasms and pain, streaming now. In a moment, the hand crumbles to the barest outline of ash. On the brass cogs, they all slam to a halt. Cutting to the stone, cogs on the walls, also slamming to a halt. Now on the glass cabinet at the center of the chamber, the golden glow is resolving, refining. Now clearly, this is the doctor. He is frozen for a moment, then convulses into life, choking, sputtering, slams against the glass of the cabinet, starts to register where he is. A moment to recover. Now he's opening the door of the cabinet, stepping into the gleaming brass and glass room, looking around. A haunted look crosses his face, a memory impacting sickeningly. Flashback, Clara's death from Trap Street. The doctor. She's dead. She's gone. Nothing he can do. So, to business. He glances around, a studied show of indifference to his surroundings, straightens his coat, composes himself. If anyone is observing, he's telling them he means business and he's not afraid. Finally, he speaks.
If you think, because she's dead, I am weak, you understand very little. If you were any part of killing her, and you are not afraid, you understand nothing at all. So, for your own sake, understand this. I'm the doctor. I am coming to find you, and I will never, ever stop.
He moves to the door, stops. What's he walking in? He kneels. The floor seems covered in some strange ashy substance, almost as if the floor itself was made of compacted version of it. It clearly piles up in corners. He runs the dust through his fingers. What is that? Doesn't matter. The dust, he dusts it from his hands, steps to the door. It grinds open. He steps out into, cut to, interior circular corridor day. The corridor encircles the circular chamber. 4 corridors at regular intervals give off ratedly from the circle. They are labeled north, south, east, and west. There are windows too. He's clearly in a tower. The doctor steps to one of the windows, a very high tower, and encircled by another, much larger building, 50 feet away and rearing gray cliff face of windows. There are walkways connecting this tower to the surrounding castle. These are the corridors we already saw. He looks down. This building is huge, falls away into mist. He looks up. The sky above is coppery like a sunset.
The equipment in that room is consistent with an augmented ultra-long-range teleport. So I am not more than a single light year from where I was, and I am in the same time zone. When the sun sets, I'll be able to establish an exact position by the stars. Then you'll have a choice. Come out and show yourself or keep hiding. Clara said I shouldn't take revenge. You should know, I don't always listen.
He notices something. Propped against the wall, a perfectly ordinary garden spade. On the blade of it, there are traces of fresh soil. He rubs the soil between his fingers.
Oh, are you gardeners? Never liked gardening. What sort of person has a power complex about flowers? It's dictatorship for inadequates. Or to put it another way, it's dictatorship. Well, come on. Chop, chop. The doctor will see you now. Show me what you've got. I just watched my best friend die in agony. My day can't get any worse. Let's see what we can do about yours.
Nothing. Silence.
Oh, don't try to be mysterious. Not with me. I don't even have a name. I'm automatically ahead.
As he turns, he notices something. Words inscribed on the wall behind him, almost filling it like a page of writing. The doctor's POV, panning along the words, the first line reads, "As you come into this world." On the doctor, reading those words, frowning, behind him we see one of the TV monitors flare into life. The picture resolves into a POV shot of a corridor similar to the one we're in. Now, panning down the next line of words, "Something else is also born." On the screen, the POV changes, as if standing up from a chair, now moving along the corridor, panning down to the next line of words. "You begin your life, and it begins a journey." On the screen, the POV has moved towards one of the windows. Now looking out of it through the windows, we can see another wing of the same building, more windows, panning down to the next line, "Towards you." On the screen, a sudden shaky zoom in one of the windows, and we see the doctor, as he is right now. He's caught in profile, reading the words on the wall. Some instinct makes the doctor turn, and he sees his own image on the screen. What? He quickly calculates which windows he's being filmed through and steps towards it. We hold on the screen as the doctor now appears fully at the window, staring right at the camera. The doctor's POV. At the window directly opposite him, a slim, motionless white figure is staring back at him. At this distance, no details, but it seems slightly ghostly, flowing, as if veiled. This figure will come to know as Veil. The doctor glances between the screen and Veil. Clearly, the monitor is showing the creature's POV. And now that POV shifts. The doctor looks back to the creature. It's gone from the window, but then is visibly walking slowly past the next window. And the walk is odd, one lurching pace, a pause, another pace, another pause, like one foot strides out and the other drags. Now walking past the next window. Where is it going? The doctor looks back to the words on the wall, pounding down them. Wherever you go. Vale passes another window. Whatever path you take, another window, another lurch and pause, it will follow. On the doctor's face, looking back to Vale, it passes out of sight and now starts along one of the walkway corridors leading to a circular chamber he is standing in. The doctor moves to the mouth of that corridor, looks along it. We let him go, panning to the monitor on the wall. The screen still shows the Vale's POV, now lurching and stopping down a long corridor leading to the circular chamber. At the end of the corridor, we now see the doctor come into view, a distant, staring figure. We close on the screen, low res on the doctor's face, slowly growing in size as the lurching thing approaches. Now a fly crawling across the screen, then another, then another. Cut to opening titles. Interior circular corridor day. Panning down the carved letter on the wall, reaching at the floor, you will notice a second shadow next to yours. Your life will then be over. An approaching shadow now extends up over those words, the familiar lurch, pause. We still don't see the creature. As it approaches, we hear a droning hum, as if of millions of insects. The shadow stops for a moment, as if uncertain what to do. On the doctor, he's round the other side of the circular corridor, the central hub containing the teleport chamber, separates and conceals himself from the pursuer, his eyes on the doctor's POV, a monitor on the wall. Vale's POV looking one way and the other, and now moving around the hub towards the doctor. Lurch, pause, lurch, pause. The doctor, moving too, keeping Vale on the opposite side of the hub. Lurch, pause, lurch, pause. The insect drone moving closer, the shadow coming visible. The doctor eyes it, just a shade of nervous, and he deliberately comes to a halt.
Okay, let's get a look at you.
His eyes flick to the nearest monitor, the POV. He can see his own shoulder and arm coming into view. He swallows hard, visibly nervous, more nervous than he expected to be. A few flies buzz about now. The doctor swats at them abstractedly. We still can't see the creature, but it's coming into view, and the doctor's nerve just goes. He starts backing away, keeping the creature out of view, matching pace, keeping the opposite side of the hub. The doctor moves more quickly now, circling around the hub, almost catching up with the Vale. A quarter section still separates them. He comes to a halt there. The doctor eyes another of the monitors. The creature has paused, and now swings around and starts moving the other way around the hub towards the doctor. The doctor now backing away, again keeping pace with the creature. He touches the palms of his own hands, bemused. He's scared and sweating. What's the matter with him? Lurch, pause, lurch, pause. The flies approaching shadow, and on the doctor's face, it's really getting to him. We haven't seen him like this. It's like he doesn't even want to see the creature. The doctor glances around. Behind him, the mouth of one of the corridors, not the one the Vale came along. It stretches away, and there is a door at the far end. The doctor goes striding along the corridor, racing down it, glancing out the corridor windows as he runs. This whole weird structure, what is it? What is it? Now at the door, yanking at the handle, won't budge. Jammed? Locked? Whips out his sonic glasses and tries them.
I hate wood.
Tries again, the door. Damn it. Won't move. New thought. He's trapped. He needs to get back out of here. Turns and starts to run back into the chamber. And there, moving into place at the end of the corridor. First proper view of the creature. Strange misshapen thing. White, veiled, something unseen beneath the cowl. We see flies buzzing in and out. The sight of it impacts the doctor, seems to knock him back a step, transfixes him.
I know you.
Lurch, pause, lurch, pause. Coming down the corridor, the doctor just staring for a moment, a rabbit in headlights.
What are you? I've seen you before.
Back to business, looking for a way out. The corridor is narrow, too narrow for him to get past the creature. Lurch, pause. The windows. No, even if they opened, they don't seem to. He's hundreds of feet up. Lurch, pause. The door, only Chase. Yanks at the handle. Locked. Damn it, damn it. Lurch, pause. Closer. Locked, still locked. Damn it. Nailing at the door, pressing his fingers against the surface. Over his shoulder. Veil, lurch, pause. Closer.
I used to know a trick back when I was young and telepathic.
Lurch, pause. The doctor closes his eyes. Focuses.
Now, clearly, you can't form an actual psychic link with the door for one very obvious reason. They're notoriously cross.
Lurch, pause.
I mean, imagine life as a door. People keep pushing you out of the way.
Lurch, pause.
Well, everybody knocks, but it's never for you.
Lurch, pause.
Locked up every night. So, if you're just a little bit nice.
A clicking from the door starts to release.
You see, Clara still got it.
He breaks off. Claire's not there. Claire is not listening. He suppresses the pain in a moment, yanks the door open to reveal a blank wall, just stonework. Stares at it. No way out. Trapped here. Oh! A shuffling from behind. Veil stepping closer.
Okay, I can't actually see a way out of this.
Lurch. Pause. More detail visible now. There is a constant movement beneath shifting layers of veil. The dreadful insect drone. He looks again at the blank stone wall blocking him off.
Finally, ran out of corridor. Oh, there's a life summed up.
Lurch. Pause. On the doctor's face, a revelation, but not a good one.
Now, this is new. I'm scared. Never realized that. I'm actually scared of dying.
And then, clunk. Veil judders to a halt. A silence. The droning has stopped. The doctor staring. What? Now looking around. Weird. Impossible. The flies a moment ago buzzing around him have all frozen in mid-air.
Something I said? What did I say?
He looks at one of the flies inches from his face. He flicks it with his finger. It simply drops to the floor. Looks back at the veil.
Why did you stop?
Throom shudders. There's a grinding of stone on stone. On the walls, all the cogs now turning, grinding around and round. The doctor steps to a window and stares out the castle. Impossible. The whole building is moving. Different floors rotating at different speeds. What? An unexpected draft. He spins to look. As the building moves, so the stone wall blocking his way is sliding away. A gap, opening, a whole doorway. The doctor glances suspiciously at the veil. What's this? Then slips through the gap into interior, the doctor's bedroom. Day. A plain, bare bedroom, a bed, a writing desk, the inevitable TV monitor mounted on the wall, currently snowing. There's a vase of fresh cut flowers on the bedside table. He steps to the vase, pulls out one of the flowers, sniffs it, then sees something else. The doctor stares. Over the fireplace is an oil painting of Clara. He steps closer, examining it. How the hell did that get there? He touches the frame, worn, flaked. like the painting is very old. The grinding noise stops behind him. Through the window, we see all the other windows stop moving as the rotating sections of the building come to a halt. The doctor barely notices, absorbed in the painting. He's patting his pockets, looking for something. Then he notices something on the mantelpiece, a jeweler's eyeglass. Just what he needs. He picks it up, screws it into his eye socket. As he does so, a single fly buzzes behind his head. He now leans forward, examining the surface of the oil painting. As he bends forward to look at it, he clears frame, and we can see the wall-mounted monitor behind him. The snow has cleared. On the monitor, we see a distant image of the doctor, as he is now peering at the painting. The POV lurches forward. Vale is approaching again. The doctor's POV through the lens, the surface of the painting, has the glaze is a maze of tiny cracks. The doctor steps back from the painting, again obscuring our view of the monitor, eyeglass still in his eye.
Old, very old, possibly very, very old.
The doctor's POV of Claire's face as a fly lands on it. The doctor, galvanized, spins, feet from him, lurch, pause.
When I was very little, there was an old lady who died. They covered her in veils, but it was a hot day and the flies came. Gave me nightmares for years. So who's been stealing my nightmares?
Lurch, pause.
What is this place? What am I here for?
Lurch, pause. The doctor stares thoughtfully at the veil, eyeglass still in place.
You've been expecting me for a very long time, right?
Lurch, pause. The doctor casually pulls a petal from the flower, still in his hand, tosses it to the floor. This action, apparently casual, has later significance.
So, this is a trap? No worse, a prison. No, a torture chamber. Am I right?
Lurch, pause.
Oh, somebody should know better. Anyone who could set this all up and steal my bad dreams should know a lot better.
Lurch, pause. The doctor, with a raise of an eyebrow, causes his eyeglass to pop out, fall to the floor with a clatter.
The secrets I have, no chance. Not telling, not me.
Lurch, pause. The doctor grabs up a stool.
Told you I was scared of dying. Wasn't lying either. Advantage? Me.
He hurls the stool at the window. It smashes through in an explosion of glass.
Because you won't see this coming.
And he turns and runs to the window and dives through it. Interior Castle Day, the doctor in a perfect swallow dive out the window, arcing down and down. The plunge is giddy. The tower and encircling building reach down and down, disappearing into mist. The tiny figure of the doctor streaking down and down. Cut to interior TARDIS Day. Close on the TARDIS doors as they slam open and the doctor strides through.
Sorry I'm late. Jumped out of a window.
Cut to exterior Castle Day. The doctor falling faster and faster. Cut to interior TARDIS Day. The doctor bounding to the console. He's talking conversationally to someone already in the TARDIS, but we don't see who.
Certain death. No way out. Bet you want to know how I survived. Go on, ask.
Cut to exterior Castle Day. The doctor diving. The castle streaking past, faster and faster. Cut to interior TARDIS Day. The doctor striding around the console, slamming levers. He's still talking, but to who? Himself? Someone in the TARDIS? He's replying to someone, faintly irritated.
No, of course I had to jump. Rule 1 of being interrogated. You're the only irreplaceable person in the torture chamber. The room is yours, so work it. If they're threatening you with death, show them who's boss. Die faster.
He looks across the room at someone.
But then you've seen me do that more often than most. Isn't that right?
No answer.
Isn't that right, Clara?
The doctor's POV, and there she is. Her back to us, her face unseen, exactly as we last saw her before the raven took her. She's standing at one of the blackboards, as if studying it intently, but weirdly still. Cut to exterior castle day, the doctor falling. Cut to interior TARDIS day. Now, on the console monitor, a schematic of the castle, a dotted line indicating the doctor's fall.
Rule 1 of dying. Don't.
He studies the schematic.
Rule 2. Slow down.
Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor falling, slowing. Now moving into ultra slow motion.
You've got the rest of your life. The faster you think, the slower it will pass.
Closer on the falling doctor's eyes, staring at the ground far below.
Concentrate. Focus. Assume you're going to survive. Always assume that.
The doctor's eyes, a slow motion blink.
Imagine you've already survived.
As the doctor eyes close, cut to interior TARDIS day, the doctor eyes opening from the same blink, but now in the TARDIS again.
There's a storm room in your mind. Lock the door and think.
Cut to interior TARDIS day. The doctor studying the schematic on the screen. He now looks over at the eerily motionless Clara, still standing facing the blackboard.
I always imagine I'm back in my TARDIS, showing off, telling you how I escaped, making you laugh.
Clara doesn't move or turn. Silence, stillness.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm falling, Clara. I'm dying.
Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor falling. Aching, slow motion. Cut to interior TARDIS day. Clara still not turning.
And I'm going to explain to you how I survived. And I can't wait to hear what I say.
He turns from Clara, walking back to the console.
I'm nothing without an audience.
The briefest of glances at the camera. Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor still diving down and down, the slow motion easing up, the doctor getting faster and faster. Cut to interior TARDIS day. As if responding to the acceleration, the doctor is now racing around the console and the whole room is juddering and shaking.
One hope, salt.
Flashback to the stool smashing through the window, the doctor tapping away at his keyboard. The schematic of the castle alters as he works.
Thought I smelled it earlier, but when I broke the window, I was sure. Salty air. This castle is standing in the sea.
On the schematic, now there is water indicated at the base. Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor diving faster. Cut to interior TARDIS day. The doctor tapping away faster and faster. The room buffets and vibrates like the TARDIS is falling in sympathy.
Diving into water from a great height is not a guarantee of survival. I need to know exactly how far I'm going to fall and how fast. Why do you think I threw the stool?
Flashback. The shattered window. Distantly we hear a splash. A super fast zoom out and we turn to a close-up of the doctor's ear. The doctor tapping away at inhuman speed.
Okay, the wind resistance of the stool.
Flashback, tiny speed of the doctor grabbing the stool, freeze frame on the move. A schematic of the exact same stool now revolving on the doctor's screen.
The atmospheric density.
Flashback, tiny speed of the doctor tossing the pedal, freeze framing on the action.
The strength of the local gravity.
Flashback, the tiny speed of the eyeglass clunking to the floor, freeze framing on the bounce.
Am I spoiling the magic? I work at this stuff, you know.
Back to the monitor.
I should hit the water in about...
Exterior castle day. The doctor twisting around, getting in position for a perfect dive. Cut to interior TARDIS day. The doctor typing frantically, calculations now flowing across the schematic.
0.02 seconds.
Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor's POV as he falls, and the water-filled area between the tower and encircling castle rushes up to meet him. Cut to interior TARDIS day. The doctor clinging to the console as if bracing for impact.
The chances of remaining conscious are...
Cut to exterior castle day. The water racing up sinkingly fast. Cut to exterior tower moat day. The slim plunging figure flashes down through the frame. A mighty splash explodes up where the screen cuts to black. We hold on black. Cut to exterior underwater day. Murky, filthy water. Suspended upside down in it. The doctor slowly turning, clearly stunned into unconsciousness. Closer on his face as it resolves past us. Through the murk. Cut to interior TARDIS day. Dark and still, the lights are all out. Then flickering, one roundel illuminates. Then another. The doctor, motionless at the console, eyes closed. He is illuminated faintly by the flickering roundels, a little brighter as each one flickers on. Cut to exterior underwater day. The doctor drifts down, down, down. Cut to interior TARDIS day on the doctor's face. More lights flicker on, but he remains impassive. Then a pattering sound like chalk on a board. The doctor stirs, frowns, his eyes slit open. He looks around, the blackboard where Clara stood. She's gone now. But there are words chalked on the board. Question 1. What is this place? The doctor sighs.
Oh, can't I just sleep?
Cut to exterior underwater day. The doctor drifts down and down through the murk. Now the pattering of chalk on the board again. Cut to interior TARDIS day. On one of the blackboards on the upper walkway. Question 2. What did you say that made that creature stop?
Do I have to know everything?
Patter, patter. The doctor looks around. Another blackboard. This time we see a figure, Clara, flitting away in front of it. And only the first few words of what's written. Question 3. What are you going to?
Clara, I don't always have to...
Panning down to the last word underlined several times. When? The doctor staring at that word. Damn it, damn it. The call to arms. He lets his eyes flicker shut. Exterior underwater day. The doctor's eyes flicker open. He starts to twist around and swim up through the murky water, but then looks down again, peering at something through the filthy water. Now panning down from the doctor, suspended in swirly, filthy water, to see a seabed. A few yards below, the seabed is covered in human skulls. As far as the eyes can see, the filthy, sickly gloom skulls, dark, empty sockets, are staring up at him, skull after skull after skull. The doctor stares a moment, then twists and kicks and starts swimming away from us to the surface. Cut to exterior castle day. The doctor standing in an open doorway, soaking wet, wider as he's standing by a wide ring of water encircling the tower, and itself encircled by a larger building. He now stands in an open doorway belonging to the larger building, which forms a wheel around the tower. What the hell is this place? He turns and heads into the building. Cut to interior small chamber day. A small stone chamber, a few rudimentary items of furniture, a fireplace with a fire blazing in it, and draped over a stand just in front of the fire is a set of clothes drying. He stares. No? Hang on. That can't be right. He steps closer. The clothes are identical to the ones he's wearing. They're his clothes. What?
Oh, Clara, what's going on? What is this?
Flashback. The blackboard with the words, how are you going to win?
Yes, don't nag.
He moves to the other door leading to the rest of the building, then registers, for a moment, his soaking clothes. Oh, why not? He starts to strip off his soaking coat. Cut to interior small chamber day. A few minutes later, the doctor now pulling on the dry clothes. He looks at the wet pile at his feet, considers, might as well. He picks up the clothes and arranges them on the drying stand in front of the fire, just like the ones he found. As he leaves, we hold for a moment on the soaking clothes hanging there. Cut to interior giant kitchen day. The doctor finds himself in a large kitchen. There is a long wooden table on a stone flagged floor, a huge range, many cupboards. He glances down, seeing something. One of the large flat stones making up the floor has been removed. And more interestingly, on the 4 neighboring tiles, arrows have been scraped pointing at the missing one, like it's important. The doctor touches his hand to the missing space and frowns. What could this mean? Looks up, a single chair at the far end of the table, and sees the shot of the TV monitor on the wall. As ever, we see the Veil's POV currently descending a staircase.
It keeps coming, Clara. Wherever I go, it follows. Why? Why does it do that?
Flash. The blackboard words chalked on it. Wrong question. The doctor blinks like a flash had physical impact.
Oh, always the teacher. What's the right question then?
Flash. The blackboard. Not why. What?
It's following me wherever I go. It's tracking me slowly, though. Scary, lurching. Scary.
He steps closer to the monitor, watching the pausing, lurching POV.
These screens everywhere. It's showing me exactly where it is all the time, how far it's got, how near. Because it's trying to scare me. Oh, putting its breath on my neck. Oh, that's the point. Oh, that's what it's doing. This is theater. It's all about fear.
He takes a proper look around the room, steps towards one of the cog units, examines it.
Oh, working hypothesis. I'm in a fully automated haunted house, a mechanical maze.
Something clatters behind him. He startles, spins, a row of hanging pans, possibly moving in a draft. He goes to them, touches them.
It's a killer puzzle box designed to scare me to death, and I'm trapped inside it. It must be Christmas.
He glances around. There is a corridor leading off the kitchen, deeper into the building. It turns a corner, and spilling around the corner is a faint mist. Where's that coming from? He heads down the corridor, turns the corner. There is a row of heavily barred windows along one side of the hallway. These don't overlook the water, but some interior courtyard and atrium. There are trees growing here. He steps to the window. In the atrium, there is a small abandoned garden, overgrown, misty, creepy. The doctor, staring now. There is a small patch of soil, and clearly it has been recently dug. Flashback, the soil-encrusted spade on the doctor discovered when he first arrived. He looks quickly around. There is a sturdy iron door to this little garden. He goes quickly to it. We pan off him to another of the monitors set on high on the wall. The POV is still descending the stairs. Cut to exterior atrium garden day. The doctor stepping into the garden. The atrium extends right to the top of the building, a patch of sky way above. Clang. The doctor spins in fright, but it's just the iron door swinging shut. Calms himself. He's jumpier than he thought. Back to business. The doctor moves quickly through the garden to the small patch of turned earth, prods it with his fingers. Interesting. Like something was buried here and recently. He starts pulling at the earth with his hands, then notices a spade is leaning against the wall opposite him. He stares at the spade.
Well, Clara, what do you think? Like someone's giving me a hint?
Flash, the
What would you
blackboard
do?
in the TARDIS, the words, same as you. The doctor nods thoughtfully.
Yes, yes, you would.
He goes to the spade, picks it up, hefts it.
which, let's be honest, is what killed you. So, someone is trying to tell me there's something important buried in this garden. That's almost the first thing they tried to tell me. Could be a trick, could be a trap, could be one of my predecessors, because I'm not the first prisoner here, am I? Oh, those skulls in the water. Wonder where they all went wrong.
He goes to the windows looking on to the corridor. He's peering through at the monitor, the creature's POV.
Building this height, creature that slow. What, an hour?
He strides to the turned patch of earth, but we are holding on the monitor, slams the spade into the ground. Cut to, a little while later, the doctor digging. He's cleared about a foot depth of earth, pulling back from him through the window. Now panning around to a shot of the monitor, the shaking, lurching point of view. And now a fly settles on the monitor. Cut to, viewed through the window. The doctor now knee-deep in the hole he's dug, again panning to the monitor. Now 3 flies crawling on the surface. The image on the screen. We are lurching and pausing around a corner, and now we can see the kitchen we just left. Lurch, pause towards the corridor with the windows. The insect drone building. Another fly lands on the monitor. Cut to exterior atrium garden day. The doctor digging. He pauses for a moment, idly bats away a fly, then freezes, realizing what that means. And now he's scrambling out of the hole, still clutching the spade. He races over to a row of barred windows. Nothing there. Not yet. Just a few flies buzzing. Close then. He squints through at the monitor. The POV appears to be stationary, staring at a wall. He looks around the garden. No other exit. He steps quickly to the iron door and pulls it open. And Vale is standing right there reaching for him. NB. The wall it was staring at was the other side of the door. The doctor slams the door shut again, trapping the Vale's arm, which prevents it closing fully. Close on the Vale's arm, the hand flexes. We get a glimpse of dreadful, silvery, skeletal fingers. And the door starts to creak open again, Vale pushing from the other side. The doctor's feet skidding and scrambling the ground as he tries to find purchase to push back. The door opening. The doctor releases pressure for a moment, causing the door to open a couple more inches, and with all his strength, slams the door on the Vale's arm. Vale's arm spasms, snakes back out of sight. The door slams shut. Fast as lightning, the doctor grabs the spade and jams it under the door handle, slams it as hard into place, wedging the door shut. Steps back, an impact on the door. The spade holds. Tries again. Again. The spade holds.
Oh, don't think so. Physics of a triangle. You lose.
Again. Holds. Again. Holds. Then we hear the Vale moving. Lurch. Pause. He's visibly passing the windows now. Lurch. Pause. Heading away somewhere else. On the doctor, slowly regaining his breath, summoning his resolve.
So, it can set traps. Oh, that's okay. I'm good at traps.
Vale out of sight now. The doctor steps to the windows, peers through at the monitors on the wall. The POV moving away through the kitchen.
Okay. So where are you off to now?
The doctor looks around the garden.
One way in or out? So where are you going?
He moves over to the dug hole, looks down into it. He barely got started, but he needs to know what's down there. He looks at the spade wedged under the handle. Awkward. His only way of digging. He returns to the window and looks at the monitor, the POV, heading along some corridor, somewhere. Where to? Where is it going? He looks thoughtfully at the spade again. Dare he? Keeping his eyes on the monitor, he reaches carefully for the spade, places his hand on it,
Well, seeing as you're going,
and now pulls at it, removing it from under the door handle, looks at the monitor. The POV, seemingly in response, comes to a dead halt. The doctor tenses. He moves to shove the spade back into place, but then the POV starts lurching and pausing again. still heading wherever it's going. The doctor, okay, looks back to the hole. Cut to, the spade slams into the dirt again. The doctor, digging. Dissolve to, a shot of the sky, night is falling, stars coming out. The doctor digging, up to his waist now. The trench is starting to look like a grave. Takes a breath, glances over at the monitor, visible through barred windows. The screen is black now. He frowns, scrambles out of the hole and races over to the windows. Yep, the screen is black. The doctor, taken back, didn't see that coming.
What? Is it asleep? Do monsters sleep nowadays? Oh, that's very modern.
The monitor is resolutely dark. He shrugs, heads back to the hole. We hold on the black monitor. Dissolve to, exterior atrium garden night. The distant sky, black, blazing with stars now. The hole is 6 feet deep, a proper grave. The doctor, still digging. He leans on his spade for a moment, tired. Another breather. He looks up at the stars and frowns, squints at them, frowns deeper.
No, that can't be right.
Shakes his head, foot pressed on the spade again, and clunk. Finally, he hits something. Stone? Sounds like it. He kneels, starts clearing the last layer of soil away with his hands, revealing, yep, a stone slab. Flashback, the missing flat stone from the kitchen floor. So this is where the stone turned up. That's what has been buried here. But more than that, there are words scratched deep into the stone. Someone has spent a long time on this. This is an important message. He clears more of the soil away. The words revealed, I am. More words below. He frantically clears more of the soil, starting to reveal them. We crane up, back from him, floating above for a moment, and huge in the foreground, a fly drones lazily past us. Back on the doctor, clearing more words. I am in. What? He clears the remainder of the soil. I am in 12. He stares at those words, touches his fingers to them. What does that mean? Who wrote that? As he stares at the word 12, a fly delicately alights on it. A freezing moment. It's here. It's back. He stands ready to climb out to run, but then the earthen wall of the hole trembles slightly, and then blasting through the soil, caked mud, an outstretched skeletal hand. The doctor stumbling back in terror, his feet slipping on the mud. Horror shot. Veil comes through the now cascading soil, driving the mud and dirt looming over the doctor on his back, helpless. 2 silver skeletal hands now reaching down for him. Cut to enter TARDIS day. Exactly as before, the doctor comes bounding through the door of the TARDIS.
Well, that was another close one.
He heads over to the console, cheerfully flicking switches, messing about with the controls.
Or it will have been when I've been and gone and got myself out of it. So, how am I going to do that?
He looks over at Clara at the blackboard. As before, her back to him, exactly as she died in Trap Street.
Come on, teacher. Ask me questions.
He swings the monitor around to look at it. On it, his real-life POV, the frozen skeletal hands reaching for him. He spins to look. As before, Claire's back, slipping from view, revealing chalk on the board. Tell no lies. He stares, frowning at that. What does that mean? Flashback. The doctor's first encounter with the veil. In the corridor, his moment of revelation.
Now this is new. I'm scared. Never realized that. I'm actually scared of dying.
The veil stops. On the doctor, he looks up at one of the blackboards on the upper walkway. As before, the chalked words are, Question 2. What did you say that made the creature stop?
The truth? Yes. Couldn't just be any old truth, though, Clara. This whole place is designed to terrify me. Imagine a world where something is always coming every second. Something deadly is always closer with every breath you take. You can't sleep. You can't sit still. Every moment you're looking over your shoulder. How long before you're out of your mind? Before you say anything? Give up anyone? I'm being interrogated, so it's not just truth it wants. That's not enough. It's confession.
He looks to the monitor again, those outstretched skeletal hands.
I have to tell truths I've never told before. That's the only thing that stops it.
The doctor, so haunted now. This is bad.
Trouble is, Claire, there are truths I can't ever tell.
His eyes go to the skeletal hands on the screen.
Not for anything.
On the doctor's face, something weakens.
But I'm scared, Clara. I'm alone, and I'm very, very scared.
Very deliberately, he lets his eyes flicker shut. Cut to exterior atrium garden night. The doctor's eyes open, the silver skeletal hands at his throat, veil looming over.
I didn't leave Gallifrey because I was bored. That was a lie, and it's always been a lie.
The hands stop. Veil freezes. It cocks its head, as if considering.
Not enough? You want more?
Silence.
I was scared. I ran because I was scared.
Silence.
Was that what you want me to say? Is that true enough for you?
Silence. The veil stands, steps back from the doctor. The doctor, now clambering to his feet. From above, a great grinding of stone on stone. The doctor now scrambling out of the hole, looking up. As the last time, all the floors of the building are revolving at different speeds, like a complex interlocking puzzle box, solving itself. He heads out through the iron door into the corridor. We hold on his face as he walks. He looks sick at himself, like he's done the worst thing he could have. Around him, the cogs and stone of the giant castle continuing to grind, and thunder, and shift. Cut to exterior castle night. The doctor looks out of the open doorway to the wide ring of water. This is the doorway he came through a few hours ago. The castle is still shifting and moving, the water turbulent. Now bobbing momentarily to the surface, a few of the skulls clearly disturbed by this movement. The doctor stares at them bleakly as they sink back down.
Oh, Claire, it's hard to be brave when there's no one to pretend to.
We hold on one of the skulls as it slips back under the water. Cut to interior underwater night. Airy moonlit, slow, the skull spirals slowly down through the murk. To land with all the others, all those sockets staring blankly up at us. We hold on one of the skulls.
There are two events in everybody's life that nobody remembers.
Dissolve to interior castle stairs night. The doctor heading up stone steps. He stops a moment, glances out of the window. The doctor's POV, moonlight glitters on the water far below.
Two moments experienced by every living thing.
He resumes his climb. He glances briefly at a monitor on the wall. It shows a POV of someone climbing the stairs far below him. Dissolve to interior castle curving corridor night. The doctor walking purposefully along.
Yet no one remembers them at all.
He turns a corner, heading along one of the corridors to the central tower. We let him go, holding on the monitor, the POV still climbing the stairs. Cut to interior teleport chamber night. The doctor moving around the chamber, examining the equipment. Then stopping short, he sees something.
Nobody remembers being born.
On the floor, the body of a man we saw earlier, burned to a crisp, barely ashy outline. Only the skull survives. Why?
And nobody remembers dying.
The doctor kneels by the body, stares at the skull. There's a wire attached to the empty each temple by a little sci-fi suction cups to each end. These wires lead back to the console. It's like someone tried to wire their own head into the machinery.
Is that why we always stare into the eye sockets of a skull? Because we're asking, what was it like? Does it hurt?
Delicately, he lifts the skull up, freeing it from the attached wires, stares into those eerie, empty sockets.
Are you still scared?
Then he notices it. The last message from this dying predecessor, scrawled in the desk, just the word bird.
Bird? What's bird got to do with it? Are there birds here?
His eyes flick to, oh, something he hadn't noticed before. There's a spiral staircase at the back of the room leading up somewhere. Interesting. Cut to exterior top of the tower night. A night sky blazing with stars, panning down to the flat roof of the central tower. A trap door has been flung back, and the doctor is now climbing up through it. His feet clanging on iron steps, he's still holding the skull in one hand. He goes to the low wall ringing the tower and looks out. The tower stands taller than the rest of the encircling buildings. He sets the skull down on the wall delicately, like he's giving it a better view. Then he looks up at the stars, scanning around, turning, casting a professional eye, frowning at them like there's something wrong. On the stars we dissolve to interior the doctor's bedroom day, early morning light at the window. The doctor slump in his chair. One hand rests on the desk next to him, tapping his finger rhythmically, one beat per second. He looks like he's been sitting there a long time, looking at the portrait of Clara.
It's funny. The day you lose someone isn't the worst. At least you've got something to do. It's all the days they stay dead.
One of the doors starts to open. The doctor stops tapping his finger, stands. The shadow of the veil falls through the opening door. Lurch. Pause. The doctor now speaks live as opposed to VO.
57 minutes. New record.
He walks calmly out the other door. Cut to interior, a huge corridor, day and night. The doctor wandering along the corridor.
This
the doctor's-
building, Clara, my castle. It's very me.
He opens every door he passes and looks in. The first door is marked with the number 105. He looks in, a ballroom.
It's complicated.
Steps to the next door, which is marked 207, a massive library.
It goes on and on.
Cut to exterior sea, day, sea stretching blue to the horizon. The reverse, the doctor is standing at an open door, but this one opens from the outer rim of the larger building. Very fast, we pull out and up to reveal that the whole vast circular castle is planted in the middle of a vast ocean.
It's alone.
Interior corridor day. On the number 46 as it slams into close-up. Wider. The doctor is exiting a room, closing the door marked 46. He moves to the immediately adjacent door, which is marked 7.
The numbering is a bit confused.
He opens his notebook and makes a note. Close on the notebook, a beautifully intricate map of the floor of the castle. He is adding up the numbers 46 and 7.
As if the rooms are all jumbled up.
The doctor's eyes flick to one of the cog units on the wall. He steps closer to it, examines it.
Maybe they move around sometimes. I saw the whole castle move when I made the creature stop.
On his notebook flicks a page, and we see a perfect copy of the words on the buried flagstone, like he's drawn it. I am in 12.
I'm supposed to find room 12. The castle wants me to. It's luring me.
He glances up. One of the monitors, the lurching, pausing POV of the veil. The doctor himself is just coming into view around the corner.
Oh, but Clara, I just want to sleep.
The doctor heads off quickly. Cut to interior corridor day. This could be any convenient set location. The doctor stands at a window, somber, staring out. He is tapping the window frame, 1 tap per second.
If I draw the creature to one extreme of the castle.
Staying on the doctor, we hear a door creak open and the thump of the veil approaching. The doctor turns and runs. Cut to interior another corridor day. The doctor runs along the corridor.
And I run to the other extreme.
Cut to interior library night. The doctor slams through the door, leans against it, puffed.
I can earn myself a maximum of 82 minutes.
Cut to the doctor slumped asleep in a big armchair in the library. We pan down him to see his finger tapping on the arm of the armchair, even as he seems to sleep.
Light dose only, full alert.
But now the tap is slowing, stopping. From off, slither, thump, slither, thump, slither, thump. The shadow of veil is growing over the doctor. Slither, thump, closer, closer, slither, thump. The skeletal hand is reaching for his throat, and he starts awake, now lunging free of the veil's grip, racing for the exit. Cut to interior, the doctor's bedroom day. A different day, daylight streaming through the window. The doctor now standing at the window, the same window he smashed earlier. He puts his hand to the unbroken pane.
One good thing about it, it tidies up after itself.
He crosses to the vase of flowers, touches the very petal he plucked off before. Then he looks to the stool, the one he threw out the window. It's back in position, exactly as it was.
Automated room service. It tidies itself up.
Cut to exterior, the atrium garden day. The patch of turned earth where the doctor dug a hole is now filled again. Pan to the doctor who's looking at it. The spade, back to where it started, propped against the wall.
Every room, if I leave it long enough, reverts to its condition at the moment I arrived. Like a hotel. I hate hotels.
He goes to the spade, hefts it on his hand.
I think this whole place is inside a closed energy loop, constantly recycling.
Interior kitchen evening. The doctor opening a door. The doctor's POV, a fully stocked larder.
Potentially, it could go on forever.
On the word forever, we cut hard to interior kitchen night. The doctor eating a plate of soup at the table, and he practically drops the spoon as if reacting to the word. Cut hard to interior corridors night. The doctor racing along darkened corridors. Cut hard to exterior, the castle, sea, night. The doctor throws open the door we saw before, the one he looked at the sea from. This time, the darkened sea stretches before him, on and on. He pulls his sonic glasses from his jacket, slips them on, looks down into the moonlit water. The doctor's POV, the dark water. He activates his glasses, zooms in on the water. We now see, deep down in the oily murk, all those skulls staring back, all those endless, empty sockets.
There's something I'm missing, Clara, and I think it's something terrible.
Cut to interior darkened corridor night. The doctor stepping back from the door, thoughtfully closing it. He's about to move on when he notices something. Clearly something he hasn't noticed before. Next to him, a flight of steps leading down and ending in a door. He peers down at it. It is marked 12. On the doctor's face, he's found it. He moves quickly down the steps and pulls open the door, and oh, as before, the doorway is blocked by a stone wall. This time, though, there is a narrow opening down one side. It's like the building has to move again for it to be clear. From beyond this wall, through the gap, a faint, glowing light. The doctor tries to peer through, then calls out,
Hello? Hello, is someone there?
Silence.
Hello? Hello?
Silence. He steps back.
It's a trap, Clara. A lure and a trap.
On the doctor's face, his eyes become hollow sockets as we dissolve to exterior top of the tower night. A shot of the skull still sitting on the low wall where the doctor placed it earlier. Wider, the doctor sitting on the wall, looking up at the stars. He's chatting away. This is where he's been talking from all along.
I'm following breadcrumbs laid out for me. This is somebody's game, and I can't stop playing it. A game everybody else has lost.
He slips his sonic glasses on, looks down at the ring of water far below. The doctor's POV, we can see just all the white shapes of skulls staring up.
I could kiss it to death.
The noise from below, the doctor doesn't ever turn. We hear the slow, clanging steps of someone climbing the staircase.
I know how to move that wall, Clara,
Clang, clang,
so long as I don't run out of confessions.
clang, clang.
But what I really want to know is who's been playing with the stars. I mean, they're all in the wrong places for this time zone anyway.
Clang, clang, flies buzzing around the doctor. Still, he doesn't turn.
I know I didn't time travel to get here. I can feel time travel.
Slither, thump. Vale has clearly arrived on the platform. We stay on the doctor, still looking up at the stars. Slither, thump.
If I didn't know better, I'd say I've traveled about 7,000 years into the future.
Slither, thump. Vale's shadow growing over the doctor.
But I do know better. I didn't time travel, so who moved all the stars?
Slither, thump. The skeletal hand reaching for the doctor.
The hybrid.
The hand stops. The doctor looks at the Vale. Totally cool. In command.
Long before the Time War, the Time Lords knew it was coming. Like a storm on the wind, there were many prophecies and stories, legends before the fact. One of them was about a creature called the Hybrid, half Dalek, half Time Lord, the ultimate warrior. But whose side would it be on? Would it bring peace or destruction? Was it real or a fantasy? I confess, I know the hybrid is real. I know where it is and what it is. I confess, I am afraid.
He waits, totally confident. Vale lowers its hand, takes a step back, and now grinding and shaking. The doctor looks down at the castle. Again, all the floors are shifting and grinding around each other. The tower itself is revolving. In the water below, some of the skulls have floated briefly to the surface in the turbulence. One of the skulls sitting on the walls is shaking with the motion of the tower and now is jostled off the wall. On the skull as it plunges down to the water below. Cut to interior underwater night. The skull sinks through the water to join the others. Cut to exterior top of the tower night. Finally, the movement stops. Vale jerks, coming back to life, but the doctor is already heading to the stairs.
See you downstairs.
And off he goes. Cut to the staircase night. The doctor hurrying down the stairs. Cut to interior darker corridor night. The doctor striding along, now breaking into a run, rounding a corner, the steps leading down to room 12. He hurries down them, pulls the door open. The wall is gone. Stretching ahead of him, a very, very long, very narrow corridor. The walls are black. The only illumination is a faint glow in the far, far distance, barely a point of light. Tentatively, he steps into the corridor. Cut to interior black corridor nights. The doctor looking around, touching his hand to the wall, black and smooth. No purchase, no other exits. Okay. He starts moving along the corridor. As he moves, we see him instinctively clicking his fingers, counting out the seconds we've let him go, panning up to a television monitor mounted over the door. The POV is descending the stairs. Cut to the doctor making his way along the corridor, scanning the walls with his sonic glasses. Nothing useful. Click, click, click. Cut to interior exit chamber night. The corridor leads into a huge cube of a room, almost featureless. All the walls and floor and ceiling are glossy black, everything gleaming and smooth and dark as night, except for the wall directly opposite him. A wall of diamond. It blazes, translucent, glittering to one side of the cog unit, suggesting that this wall moves too. And there is something carved into the wall. The doctor steps closer to look. We hold on his face, not yet seeing what he sees.
Of course. The final square on the board. What else would it be?
The doctor's POV carved in the center of the diamond wall. A few feet above his head, the word home.
The TARDIS.
He puts out his hand and touches the wall.
One confession away.
He takes his glasses and scans the wall.
Asbantium, 400 times harder than diamond, 20 feet thick.
He pops his glasses back on and tries to peer through the translucent material, that shifting light beyond.
Beyond it, what is that? Dimensional transverse junction, going by the luminescent dissonance. The way out?
Flashback, the word bird, written on the floor by the dead man in the teleport chamber. The memory impacts on the doctor, almost physical.
Bird.
As he says this, something changes in his face. A moment of realization, intense, room-shifting, life-changing. Oh God, he gets it now. He knows what he has to do. And whatever it is, it's a vision of utter hell. And the clicking fingers stop. Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor comes striding through, but unlike before, he's somber, subdued, and under that, so angry. Goes to the console, leans on it heavily.
That's when I remember. Always then, always exactly then.
He looks up. Clara, her back to him, standing at the blackboard.
Oh, Clara, I can't keep doing this. I can't. Why is it always me? Why is it never anybody else's turn?
Of course, there's no answer, no reaction. He looks around the blackboard on the upper walkway. It still reads, Question 3. How are you going to win?
Can't I just lose? Just this once?
Cut 2. Interior exit chamber night. The doctor now sits on the floor, his back against the diamond wall. He looks utterly defeated, like he's been there for a while. Cut 2. Interior TARDIS night. The doctor pacing around the console now.
It would be so easy. Just tell them. Just tell whoever wants to know all about the hybrid.
Cut 2. Interior exit chamber night. The doctor sitting despairing against the wall, on his eyes dull, almost tearful. As they flick up, he's heard a noise. The doctor's POV. He's sitting directly opposite the long black corridor, distantly at the far end. We can just make out the door opening. The doctor just stares, not moving, not reacting, barely seems interested. Cut to the TARDIS night. The doctor striding around the console, increasingly agitated and angry.
I can't keep doing this. I can't always do this. It's not fair. Just this once. Can't I give in? Can't I lose?
He spins around on Clara, still standing with her back to him, but chalked on the backboard in front of her a single word, no. The doctor staring hopelessly at that word.
But I can remember, Clara. You don't understand. I can remember it all, every time.
Just the word, no.
And you're still gone? Whatever I do, you still won't be here.
The doctor sags, like an admission, ripped the heart out of him. And then, impossibly, her voice.
Doctor.
He startles and looks at her. What? And magically, impossibly, she turns to face him. Clara Oswald fixing him in her eye. The eye.
Stop it. Just stop.
He stares at her.
You're not the only person who ever lost someone. It's the story of everybody. Get over it. Beat it. Break free.
She steps towards him, puts a hand to his face.
Doctor, it's time. Get up off your ass and win.
Cut to interior exit chamber night. The doctor snaps to attention. He's got his orders and he's back in the game. He stands, straightens his clothes, ready for the fray. Time to get his doctor on. Vale near the end of the corridor.
Hello again. No more confessions, sorry. But I will tell you the truth.
He turns to the diamond wall, seems to square up to it, then methodically, with confidence, like this is something he does all the time, he winds back his arm and simply punches the wall as hard as he can and shakes his hand.
Ouch!
But he winds back his arm again and punches the wall again. He continues to talk calm, conversational as he does this. All the time, the veil is getting closer.
The hybrid is a secret. It's a very, very dangerous secret, and it needs to be kept. So I'm telling you nothing at all. Instead, I'm going to do something far worse. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to find who put me in here in the first place, and whatever you're trying to do, I'm going to stop it.
On the veil, lurching, pausing, so close.
And then I'm going to come back to this place, and I'm going to rip it apart with my bare hands, and you with it. It might take me a little while, so would you like me to tell you a story?
Veil, only a few feet away, stretching out its skeletal hand.
The Brothers Grimm. Oh, lovely fellas. They're on my dots team.
Veil's hand closer and closer to the doctor. As it nears him, it starts to glow.
According to them, there's this emperor who asked this shepherd boy how many seconds in eternity. And the shepherd's boy says,
and he breaks off in a terrible scream. Veil is gripping the doctor deadly tight. The doctor's body is glowing fierce and bright. He twists and screams like he's burning. It goes on, and then the doctor slams, lifeless, to the floor, dead as a doornail. Veil steps back from the body, stands for a moment, almost as if penitent. Then the faint glow of a teleport, and Veil fades away. Now cutting around the various monitors in the castle, they all cut to snowing interface as we saw at the very beginning. Now on the doctor, limp and dead on the floor, close on his face. What was that? A twitch of his mouth?
people always get it wrong with Time Lords.
Interior TARDIS night. As before, the roundels are flickering on one at a time, slowly illuminating. The doctor standing silent at the console. He looks pale as death.
We take forever to die.
He raises a hand, flicks a few switches. The console monitor flares on, showing a schematic of the doctor's crumpled body.
Even if we're too injured to regenerate, every cell of our bodies keeps trying. Dying properly can take days.
Interior exit chamber night. The doctor twitches and starts to roll over slightly. The movements are painful, spasmodic.
That's why we like to die among our own kind. They know not to bury us early.
Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor grimly watching his own real-world progress as a POV on the monitor.
I think in my current condition, it will take me about A day and a half to reach the top of the tower.
Cut to interior exit chamber night. The doctor crawling for the door, the most painful crawl you ever saw. Slow, dreadful, pain-racked.
I think, if I'm lucky, I have a day and a half.
Cut to interior castle stairs day. The doctor crawling up the stairs, heaving himself up, step to step. It's daylight outside. Time has passed.
I have to do this, Clara. It's the only way. I have to be strong.
Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor somber at the console.
I should have known from the very beginning, of course. The portrait of you, the creature from my nightmares.
Cut to interior castle corridor night. The doctor is resting for a moment as we watch. He heaves himself back to life, starts hauling his way along the corridor.
This place is my own bespoke torture chamber, intended for me only. But all those skulls in the water, how could there have been other prisoners in my hell?
As the doctor heaves himself along, we pan back to the blood stains he's leaving behind, exactly the same as the blood stains we saw at the top of the show. Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor watching his own POV on the monitor.
The answer, of course, is there never were any other prisoners.
Cut to interior castle corridor day. The doctor heaving himself along one of the radial corridors leading to the top of the central tower.
And the stars? They weren't in the wrong place. And I haven't time traveled.
Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor, so grim.
I've just been here a very, very long time.
Cut to interior circular corridor day. The same shot at the top of the show. The door to the teleport chamber as the shadow of the hunched and wheezing figure falls over them. This time we see it is the doctor himself, barely able to stand. A crunching, grinding sound. The door slides away, revealing the teleport chamber itself. The doctor staggers in. Cut to interior teleport chamber day. Desperately weak and dying, the doctor staggers to the console.
Every room resets. Remember, I told you that. Every room returns to its original condition.
He's now examining the controls.
Logically, that means the teleport should do the same.
Cut to interior TARDIS night. The doctor watching the monitor.
Teleporters. Fancy word. They're just like 3D printers, really. Except they break down living matter into information and transmit it. All you have to do is add energy.
Cut to interior teleport chamber day. The doctor studying the reads out on the console.
The room has reset and returned to its original condition. When I arrived, that means there's a copy of me still in the hard drive. Me, exactly as I was when I first got here, 7,000 years ago.
The doctor is picking up the wires he early removed from the skull. He attaches them to his own head with the little sci-fi suction cups at the end. The wires run into the depths of the console, so it's like he's wiring himself into the machinery.
All
Oh, did I?
all I need to do is find some energy. And all you need for energy is something to burn.
He braces himself. This is going to be tough.
How long can I keep doing this, Clara? Burning the old me to make a new one?
He steadies himself for the horror. Then he reaches his bloodied hand for the lever. The same shot at the beginning. He slams the lever. This time we see the doctor spasm, energy arcing through him. Then he goes crashing to the ground. The following is exactly as the beginning. The glass of the cabinet glow is starting up, exactly like the glow we saw as the doctor dematerialized at the end of Trap Street. On the walls, the brass cogs glowing brighter and brighter. The floor, the doctor's bloodied hand shaking with effort, is writing the letters in the dust, now cutting around various walls of the castle. The stone cogs turning and turning, faster and faster. Back to the bloodied hand, writing in the dust, Bird. The glow in the cabinet stronger and stronger, starting to take a familiar shape. The brass cogs faster and faster, the stone cogs faster and faster. Now the cogs are glowing faintly. We pan down to the streaks of blood on the floor. They too glow just like the cogs. Now they are evaporating, puffing into steam. On the bloodied hand, still writing, we see curves and lines, but not the finished word. The hand starts to glow, spasms and pain streaming now. In a moment, the hand crumbles to the barest outline of ash. On the brass cogs, they all slam to a halt. Cutting to the stone cogs on the wall, also slamming to a halt. Now on the glass cabinet at the center of the chamber, the golden glow is resolving, refining. Now clearly, this is the doctor. He is frozen for a moment, then convulses to life. Choking, sputtering, slams against the glass of the cabinet, starts to register where he is, a moment to recover. Now he's opening the door of the cabinet and stepping into the gleaming brass and glass room, looking around. A haunted look crosses his face, a memory impacting sickeningly. He's thinking about Clara's death. The doctor, she's dead. She's gone. Nothing he can do. So, to business. He glances around, a studied show of indifference to his surroundings, straightens his coat, composes himself. If anyone is observing, he's telling them he means business, and he is not afraid. Finally, he speaks.
If you think because she's dead, I am weak, you understand very little. If you were any part of killing her, and you are not afraid, you understand nothing at all. So, for your own sake, understand this.
Now, we pan from the newly minted doctor down to see the crumbled remains of the old doctor, the skull, the dust.
I'm the doctor. I am coming to find you, and I will never, ever stop.
We hear the new doctor move to the door. It grinds open. We hear him go out. Silence. The skull is staring at us. Montage sequence. Now a fast-cutting version of the entire episode we've just seen, fast like a recap. A1, the doctor finding the spade outside.
Oh, are you the gardeners?
Cut 2, the doctor moving around the central hum of the tower, keeping pace with the veil on the other side. Cut 2, the doctor racing along the corridor away from the veil. Cut to D1, yanking open the door to reveal the wall. Cut to E1, veil in confrontation with the doctor making his first confession.
I'm actually scared of dying.
Cut to F1, the doctor throwing the stool through the window. Cut to G1, the doctor diving from the tower. Cut to H1, the doctor underwater, seeing all the skulls looking up at him. Cut to I1, the doctor hauling himself out of the water. Cut to J1, the doctor finding his own clothes drying in front of the fire, deciding to swap them for the soaking ones he's wearing. Cut to K1, the doctor digging a hole. Cut to L1, the doctor discovering the message, I am in 12. Cut to M1, the doctor is discovering the skull in the teleport chamber, staring into his empty sockets. Cut to N1, the doctor in the veil atop of the tower.
If I didn't know better, I'd say I've traveled about 7,000 years into the future.
Cut to O1, the tower shaking, causing the skull to vibrate on the low wall. Cut to P1, underwater, the skull drifts down to join the others, all the other doctors. Cut to Q1, the doctor discovers the 12th door. Cut to R1, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer.
How many seconds in eternity? And the shepherd's boy says,
Veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. S1, the door of the teleport chamber grinds open to admit the terrible injured doctor. Cut to T1, energy arching through the doctor as he powers the teleport and crashes to the floor. U1, and a new doctor steps from the teleport booth. And now we do it all again, faster and sharper speed ramps if they work. This is truncated with only minor through important changes. Cut to B2, the doctor moving round the central hub of the tower, keeping pace with the veil on the other side. Cut to C2, the doctor racing along the corridor away from the veil. Cut to F2, the doctor throwing the stool through the window. Cut to G2, the doctor diving from the tower. Cut to H2, the doctor underwater, seeing all the skulls looking up at him. Cut to J2, the doctor finding his own clothes drying in front of the fire, deciding to swap them for the soaking ones he's wearing. Cut to M2, the doctor discovering the skull in the teleport chamber, staring into his empty sockets. Cut to N2, the doctor at the veil at the top of the tower.
if I didn't know better, I'd say I'd traveled about 12,000 years into the future.
Cut to P2, underwater, the skull drifts down to join the others, all the other doctors. Cut to R2, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer.
How many seconds in eternity? And the shepherd's boy says,
The veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. Cut to S2, the door of the teleport chamber grinds open to admit the terrible injured doctor. Cut to energy arcing through the doctor as he powers the teleport, then crashes to the floor. U2, the new doctor, steps from the teleport booth, again, even faster. Cut to F3, the doctor throwing the stool through the window. G3, the doctor diving from the tower. H3, the doctor under the water, seeing all the skulls looking up at him. M3, the doctor discovering the skull in the teleport chamber, staring into his empty sockets. Cut to N3, the doctor at the veil at the top of the tower.
if I didn't know the better, I'd say I've traveled about 600,000 years into the future.
Cut to underwater, the doctor's skull drifts down to all the other doctors. Cut to R3, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer.
How many seconds in eternity? And the shepherd boy says,
Veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. Cut to T3, energy arcing through the doctor as he powers the teleport, then crashes to the floor. U3, and the doctor steps from the teleport booth. Again, even faster, really accelerated now. M4, the doctor discovering the skull in the teleport chamber, staring into his empty sockets. The doctor at the veil at the top of the tower.
about 1,200,000 years into the future.
Underwater, the skull drifts down and joins all the other doctors, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer.
How many seconds in eternity? And the shepherd's boy says,
The veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. Cut to T4, energy arcing through the doctor as he powers the teleport, then crashes to the floor. U4, the new doctor, steps from the teleport booth. Now we've got a very brief cycle. Cut to N5, the doctor at the veil at the top of the tower.
if I didn't know better, I'd say I've traveled about 2 million years into the future.
Cut to underwater, skull drifts down to join the others, all the other doctors. Cut to R5, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer.
How many seconds in eternity? And the shepherd's boy says,
The veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. Cut to energy arcing through the doctor as it powers the teleport, then crashes to the floor. U5, and a new doctor steps from the teleport booth again. And 6, the doctor at the veil at the top of the tower.
if I didn't know better, I'd say I've traveled about 20 million years into the future.
Cut to P6, underwater, the skull drifts down to join the others, all of the doctors. Cut to R6, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer. But this time we see that over the millions of years, the doctor has worn his way into the wall of diamond a few feet. It takes the veil a little longer to reach him, so we hear a little more story.
The shepherd's boy says, there's this mountain of pure diamond, and it takes an hour to climb it and an hour to go around it.
The veil grabs the doctor and starts to kill him. Cut to U6, and a new doctor steps from the teleport booth. Cut to N7, the doctor in the veil at the top of the tower.
50 million years.
Cut to P7 underwater. The skull clunks down among the others. Cut to R7, the doctor punching the diamond wall as the veil draws closer, and he's now inside a tunnel a few feet, punching away. The veil takes even longer.
Every 100 years, a little bird comes and sharpens its beak on the diamond mountain.
Veil grabs the doctor. Cut to U7, and a new doctor steps from the teleport booth. Cut to N8, the doctor and Veil at the top of the tower.
Nearly a billion years.
Cut to R8, the doctor punching his way through the diamond tunnel.
And when the entire mountain is chiseled away, the first second of eternity will have passed.
The Veil grabs him. Cut to a new doctor steps out of the teleport. Cut to the doctor and Veil at the top of the tower.
Well over a billion years.
Cut to the doctor in his diamond tunnel, Veil lurching after.
You might think that's a hell of a long time.
The Veil grabs him. Cut to U9, a new doctor steps out of the teleport. Cut to N10, the doctor in the Veil at the top of the tower.
2 billion years.
Cut to R10, the doctor in a diamond tunnel, punching.
Personally, I think that's a hell of a...
The Veil grabs him. And cut to U10, a new doctor steps out of the teleport. N11, the doctor in the Veil at the top of the tower.
Over 2 billion years.
Cut to R11, the doctor punching his way through the now almost 20 feet of diamond tunnel. And smash! The doctor stares in shock. The Veil freezes. What? What? The thin layer of diamond remaining in front of the doctor now crazes with crack lines, and it shatters. Blinding light from beyond. The doctor shields his eyes in shock, looks away to see the Veil frozen. Then Veil slowly collapses to the ground, disintegrating as it goes. A few cogs, like the ones on the walls, clatter and roll from its disintegrating form. It's finished. Over. On the doctor, looking down at the splattered remains of the light blazing behind him, finally completes his story.
Personally, I think that's a hell of a bird.
The doctor looks back to the blazing light and starts to walk into. Cut to exterior desert day. The doctor is blinded by too much light, can hardly see. He looks behind him to see where he came from, but there's just a jagged hole hanging in space, through which we can still see a darkened corridor. But as he watches, the hole shrinks and disappears, like the picture dwindling to a dot on an old television. The dot falls to the ground, now a physical object glittering in the sun. The doctor bends, picks it up. Oh, his own confession dial, now fully open. He peers inside and revealed a tiny castle in the middle of the ocean where he's been all this time, and the dial snaps shut. He runs his fingers round it. Close on the detail of the dial, tiny little cogs. I know, we're going to have to cheat that, but we never got a good look. He turns slowly, squints into the distance, shields his still adjusting eyes. We don't see yet what he sees, but it changes everything. A noise makes him turn, watching him nervously from the shadows. A little boy, the equivalent of a shepherd's boy. He's staring at the doctor in astonishment. This man who came out of nowhere.
Go to the city, find somebody important, and tell them I'm back. Tell them I know what they did and I'm on my way.
The boy, confused, forming a question.
If they ask you who I am, tell them I came the long way round.
The boy turns and runs. The doctor watches him go, his eyes raised to the boy's destination, and we move around behind and finally see what he can. A few miles away, looming out of the desert, a vast city under a huge gleaming dome, Gallifrey. The doctor takes a moment, staring at it, drinking it in. He looks at the confession dial, still in his hand.
You can probably still hear me, so just between ourselves, you've got the prophecy wrong. The hybrid isn't half Dalek. Nothing's half Dalek. Daleks wouldn't allow it.
He pockets the dial, takes out his sonic glasses.
The hybrid, destined to conquer Galfrey and stand in its ruins.
He slips on the glasses. We can see the domed city reflected in each lens.
Is me.
End titles. Woohoo!
Oh, that was fun. I'm a little
Yes,
tired
it
now, so
So you're saying good night?
is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm
of
sorry,
course.
it's been a long day.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before you go? Did you see this before? Did you like it? Do you have any thoughts one way or another?
I think it's interesting that he went through regenerating himself several times, just and went through a massive time loop. Basically, that's what it was, a time loop. To only find out that he's a conqueror, admit that he's a conqueror.
All right.
And he had to learn how to let go, which is interesting. Good lesson for us all, learning how to let go when we don't know how.
Or did he? Did he keep going? Just kidding. All right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reading, Clara. I look forward to hearing the other Doctor Who thing you did and all your other stuff. But yes, go get some rest and
Yes, good job, Vicky. Jacob.
all right.
Thanks.
See ya. Vicky,
Night.
would you like to talk a little bit? Do you want a little tiny good night, Heather?
Night.
Do you want a little intermission first or just talk for a short time and
Just talk a short time. It's exactly what I thought. It's completely different reading it, and that was fun. I really enjoyed it. It reminds me of Amadeus. I mean, I had tried to watch that in real time and then rented it, and I couldn't get through it. But then when it was me doing it, I watched the whole movie before we did it, and doing it, I'm still talking about it. I mean, that was just a dream role, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was just the same. This was really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Amadeus is one of the movies for me, like I absolutely love. Like after I watch it, is like for the time my favorite movie. And it's one of the ones where I'm like, I can't even say why. I don't even know why. It's just a feeling I had when I watched it. This one I really liked, and I liked reading it. And in the show, when I watched it the first time, like I was saying, for myself, others find it repetitive. For myself, I loved it. For me, it felt like it in the show. I got the feeling like it was even more for Clara than other things, and that the fact that like he would go over 2 billion years and keep at it and punching through this wall that whole time for somebody he loved that much, I was just like, oh wow, like that is incredible. Reading it right now, it didn't feel as much for Claire. He was upset about it, but it didn't seem like that was the motivating factor pushing him. For myself this time.
I think it'll be different watching it for me now.
Yeah, it'd be curious to watch it again. Some of the other images I saved, one is for like, I guess the episode right after this. I remember what happens, but yeah, one thing I'm really glad about reading this is how often have you ever seen a movie that repeats a montage, the same montage, but quicker or shorter or just similar pieces and goes like that? I've never seen that before. So just as a lesson for writing screenplays, how they number those, how they label those. I'm like, that was cool. That was interesting to see. Other things about the script, I forget exactly how it worded it. It had a lot of cut tos, then it had like a quick smash to or a quick cut to. And I'm like, for myself, filmmaking, I'm like, how do you do that differently? Like I'm making the film, like, because a cut is just instantaneous from one thing to another. Like, how is that quicker or a rusher? Like I want to watch it now and see how they differentiate that. You know what I mean? Like,
does time go or something, like
yeah, do they move the camera before and after? Like, do they or does it do a quick push in and shove it while it does it?
A blurry thing.
Yeah. There were a few other things. Again, as we're reading it, I'm not able to highlight it or mark it, so didn't read it beforehand, so I forget them now. Like there were some camera directions. There was a cool thing that, like, again, it pointed out that something is going to be important to us later. in like just in brackets.
Yeah,
Or colon.
I remember that.
Yeah, so it's cool to see how other people do it. It felt like there was one thing that, again, normally you wouldn't really be able to film. It's like something he thinks or felt, um, and stuff. But a lot of voiceover, and then it shows like where he's been talking from the whole time. I don't know if that
Yeah.
would come across exactly the same in showing it. Um, I saw a thing earlier today when prepping for this, and it said it was pointing out some TV shows, or I don't know if it's just Doctor Who or others, about that were made very affordably. Now again, watching the show, you go like, all right, that's a lot of CG and stuff for that tower and the switching and things changing. So that has a lot to it, but a few of the sets they can just repeat over and over. They just film once and they show it over and over, and it's just basically like two actors and this other creature and like I guess that little boy at the end. But that's just, again, there's ways to write things that can maybe be powerful to some, that you don't need a lot of sets, you don't need a lot of actors, you don't need, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely. I think minimalism can be very powerful. And in a way, this was like done in a minimal way. Certainly minimal actors.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of interesting how they reveal to us as he's figuring it out as well. Like that seems like that's always a tough thing to write. Like how to keep the people interested enough when they're just barely getting the information to hang on longer and to not get ahead of it, not be behind it and stuff. So, yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on the...
Mm, just a very interesting thing to do for Halloween.
Yeah. And it mentioned a thing in it, like, is this like a haunted house, a maze, like for
Yeah.
himself or whatever? And then he also mentioned like it's like Christmas for him for doing puzzles and stuff just for him. A thing I had forgot is I remember in the show they talk about his, is it the confession dial or what do they call it that the doctors have or other Time Lords have? But that's brought up in a few of the episodes at different times. But I forgot that this was it, or this was his, like his confessions came out this way and are in that. I'm like, I forgot that. But that's kind of cool. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right. I can't think of anything either at the moment. So, thank you for being here. This was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Have a great rest of your night. And oh, do you know what's next week?
No.
Me neither. I should. I do. It's a new month. It's November. Whenever people are watching this, I'm gonna say what that is, even though people probably don't really read this so much in order. Let's go. Sorry, taking the time. Say something to fill the space for me. Just kidding.
Gee.
As of now, it's on November 7th. It's going to be The West Wing, season 1, episode 1, the pilot.
Oh.
Quite different than what we've done most of the time. So it'll be interesting to do that. I believe that's written by the like well admired Aaron Sorkin, right? I think he
Yeah.
writes those. People love his writing, his talking, his speed, his...
It's probably a fair sized cast, like not movie like kind of cast, but there should be quite a few people in it.
I would imagine so too. Like, and again, as if that it's a pilot, maybe they have to introduce all the people, all the characters, all their stuff. So we'll see how he does that. I'm curious. But all right. Thank you, Doctor. It's been a pleasure. I'll see
No
you
problem.
somewhere in time when your TARDIS happens to show up. All right. Yes, you'll come out of the TARDIS. You'll do your yoga show. You go back in.
I actually have a couple of TARDIS mugs. When you put a hot drink into it, the TARDIS goes into space. And as the drink cools down, the TARDIS goes back to London.
That's pretty amazing. Like, how come you're not drinking out of that right now? I guess they didn't give that to you in your prison, huh?
It's not big enough.
All right.
That's my only reason.
I mean, it's bigger on the inside. It looks small from the outside, but
right. It's quite confusing.
it is. It is. You have to see it. All right. All right. See you later.
All
See you
right.
next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.